Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the second map in this best of three between Omega Gaming and Inverse. My name is DKTruman, and joining me is the always lovely Kips. And well, could you give us a brief little recap of what we saw in game number one?
Yeah, game number one, great blink dagger work from both of the cores of Inverse, but ultimately it didn't matter that much as between the Ursa and the Darkseer especially, there just wasn't much hope for their Medusa. And that means that they never got to the late game where they would have wanted to take out that win with their ultimate hard carry, and it goes to Omega Gaming with some beautiful fast-paced gaming. And now we are heading into game two, and I wonder if Inverse is going to dare to try the same again.
Yep, game number two, of course, both these teams pretty much in the middle of the pack, 1-1. So losing this doesn't mean that you have no chance to advance on, but you probably kind of want to win this match to give yourselves that extra edge. And we'll head in towards the draft right now. We started off with a hoodwink pick for Omega Gaming. One ban that was different from the previous game, and that is the Mars taken out by Inverse, who coincidentally were the ones who actually picked it.
And two flexible openings here. We've seen, of course, the Hoodwink make some more appearances on the mid roll recently, especially as played by Nine on Tundra. I wonder if Omega would also play it like this. Right now, though, I think it's partially a block pick. They banned it the previous series to make sure Inverse couldn't get their hands on it, and now Inverse with the Earth Spirit as well. We're just taking each other's heroes here. Yeah,
Oh
there we
no.
go.
There's the Dusa pickup. Well, Dusa is kind of you kind of expect it every single game these days. Earth Spirit, of course. Let's see. We saw an absolutely amazing Dark Demon Earth Spirit game one. Can Inverse add the same kind of flair to it?
Yeah, I wonder, would the Earth Spirit partially look that good just because you got a great combo with it? Darkseer Earth Spirit is one of those old-time classics. There's like Weaver, Earth Spirit, Darkseer, Weaver, two of those heroes that can both chase and make use of big damage over time. So I'd like to see Inverse pick up something like that themselves as well. Unfortunately, Weaver is out. I guess I want to see, desperately want to see a Darkseer ban out of Omega Gaming right here, right now. Otherwise, they're just gonna get hit by it right back.
Yeah, I would 100% agree with you, Kips. Darkseer Earth Spirit is a nasty
doing
combo to lane against. And I mean, do you think that this is a gyrocopter core, or do you think they're just going to go with the position 5 gyro?
From what I've seen of Slaw, he's definitely capable of doing that, but Gyro Dusa, this is not a bad matchup for either of them, really. You can definitely... It's really about who gets to be the most farmed and gets to take the stand, and the other one has to engage into them. Neither of these heroes are good at jumping the other. Medusa, maybe if you buy a Blink Dagger and you jump, past the enemy front line, that sort of thing. But this has, if this is a core gyrocopter, this has all the makings of a farm fest.
10 seconds.
Yeah, if this is a core, yeah, it would be a pretty interesting game if that would be the case, because then you're pretty much looking at, maybe the IO added in for extra flair, and then taking it to the late game. Though I don't really... Gyro against Dusa? I don't think Gyro wins against Dusa.
10 seconds.
But they kind of have like some of the toolkit, but it feels like the Gyro is a lot more stronger early game.
He is definitely more challenged, yeah. You have to play both the farming and the fast game over on Gyrocopter. However, they still have the option over to just take Darkseer here. They're not going for it.
Death Prophet. Okay. Could be off lane, mid, flexible in that regard. Some people even go so wild as to put it safe lane, though I doubt it. Unless you really want to push it again on the Inverse side and you actually just get a full pushing draft that doesn't get destroyed by Medusa split shot, which Death Prophet really nails that spot perfectly.
Yep, she can stand in the heart of the team fight without looking at Dusa, still deal a ton of damage, and forces the the enemy team to keep on engaging with her, especially if she manages to get on top of the Dusa. Otherwise, you just melt straight through
10
her.
seconds.
Spirit Breaker, definitely good at separating out fights, though.
5 seconds remain.
Yeah, I mean, both these position 4s, again, those aggressive run-in supports, Earth Spirit, Spirit Breaker, just constantly want to be in the thick of it, in the battle, creating plays all over the place. And it also does mean that you can never, on either side of the team, really be standing out somewhere to farm because there's a random Spirit Breaker charging at you or an Earth Spirit jumping out of the tree. So there's a lot of kill threat and a lot of magic damage this game.
Absolutely. They can still pick up the Invoker on either side here.
Disruptor.
It's Disruptor again, yeah, so definitely core Spirit Breaker by now, unless of course it's that core Hoodwink. I mean, a girl can hope, right? I don't think it'll be that, but...
Would assume
Probably.
a Spirit Breaker off lane. I mean, Hoodwink is just... I mean, you said, yeah, 9 plays it, but, you know, it's like one of those, you know, Thompson plays it, kind of. Yeah, he plays it. No one else does.
No one else does indeed.
I mean, I saw Samil try that Grimstroke mid once. It wasn't a success.
Seen several people try the Oracle mid as well. Wasn't a success. I mean, that's one of the ones that even Thompson himself couldn't really make work, right? He still did it. There we go. So definitely support Gyrocopter then. I had a feeling when the Death Prophet pick came out. Gyrocopter to support. Earth Spirit. Charo Luna is just such a spammy lane.
Really, no faith in Luna support? Okay, I see how it is. Still one of my favorite support heroes out there. When, you know, she had that, I think, 300 cast range talent at level 10, which was stupidly OP, and then you could play it as support. But yeah, I mean, another very strong pushing hero.
Yeah, you can definitely 5-man with this Luna, as well as keep up that farming tempo. It's something that would have been hard to pull off with the Gyrocopter if possible, but Luna 100% a better fit for it. I'm really enjoying this inverse draft so far. She can get focused down in these fights if you have any kind of reach and damage over on Omega Gaming for the last pick, because you put the Spirit Breaker onto the Luna, you bash her once, you Nether Strike her, and then you put some other damage from anybody really towards it. And then the Darkseer actually gets banned by Inverse. They have no intentions of playing it themselves. They're just scared to get the Luna illusioned up again.
Yeah, it wouldn't be great either. Spirit Breaker, Darkseer kind of works the same as her Spirit Darkseer. Just run at you, run at you, run at you. And Luna is a lot squishier, especially in the early game compared to Adusa. Like, Luna is just paper.
You gotta output enough damage to keep him off of you. It's gonna be rough versus a Spirit Breaker, and I'm looking at that SB as well. He's got the shard with the break on it. That will keep him relevant against the Luna for a long time, because if you break Luna, she actually doesn't do all that much damage anymore. All of the glaives are gone. She doesn't get the aura anymore. It's pretty good.
Well, maybe we get to see some spirits. Already 2 banned out, though. That means, what, Storm and... Nah, we already have... Yeah, Storm is only left. The Earth Spirit's already in the game. Storm gets banned out. Rip.
Yeah. No, like, Inverse was not about to play it themselves, is the thing. Their mid apparently does not play Storm. So... it would have been Omegas. And now there are 0 spirits left.
Disruptor Hoodwink feels so incredibly weak, and like, if they even get looked at funny by the Earth Spirit, they die.
Yep, he is extremely good at the chase down, and we're going to have homing missiles following them around as well. Like, you can scurry all you want, you're not getting out of that. You can't glimpse a missile.
If only you could. It would be really interesting if you could glimpse projectiles. But then again, in a team fight, there would be chaos everywhere that you couldn't ever glimpse an enemy. Valve, think about it. Just, you know, glimpse projectiles. Maybe add that. You already had that weird interaction with Sprink.
Dire's turn to pick.
Lena.
Ooh.
Yeah.
the classic mid, I beat every other mid laner in the game hero.
Yep, and a lot of the heroes that can at least supplement as well as the Lina, like the Ember Spirit, for example, and the
10
Kunkka are
seconds
already
remain.
gone. The one that's popular right now that's actually left is the
5
Quap.
seconds.
Other option, Darkseer? No, sorry, Darkseer, excuse me. I'm looking at the Darkseer ban. Bad Rider? For inverse this time?
I definitely try to not pick up Quap against a Spirit Breaker Disruptor.
Yeah.
It feels like you
Doesn't
just
feel
straight
good,
up
huh?
die. Something... I mean, I have no idea what would be the correct choice here. Surprising to me that we haven't seen SF being picked or banned in the first 2 games, considering that, you know, safe lane SF right now is like one of the biggest heroes. But then again, it's not one of those heroes that is amazing against Dusa, and they keep first picking Dusa.
You could Lesh if you want to continue to push theme.
Well, that's a very
you can
good
also,
one.
You could also, of course, promote this Death Prophet to mid lane. She's not great versus Lina, but she'll make do. And then pick off an offlaner of some kind. Offlane pool fairly thin right now as well, though.
Yeah.
Pangolier?
Pangolier is okay. Rolling Thunder is kind of weird interaction with Deuce of Stonegaze, and they're gonna go for the Bat Rider. You did mention it previously.
Make the ultimate choice.
Pretty much just try and dominate the laning stage, I guess. Or, you know, if the Lina stands out one moment, you can burn her to a crisp, and which is kind of funny because she's also a fire goddess. But for the most part, I think that the Bat Rider to get you over that first, you know, 15 minutes, and then the Death Prophet comes running in, could really get the foot in the door, because we already saw Dusa lose against the Bat Rider.
We did. I mean, you gotta kill her during that lasso though, because we saw that twice, I think, as well, where the lasso is over, she's still alive, and instead she's in the middle of your team stone gazing. That's always kind of awkward.
Yeah. It's not necessarily the greatest game to try and kill the Dusa, per se. I mean, Luna doesn't win against Luna doesn't win against Lina either. It's actually not a great Luna game. So, yeah, I would assume just farm up, get to that like 20-25 minute mark, and then start taking down every building with the Death Prophet at that point probably has taken down 3 buildings single-handedly, and try to overwhelm them at that point. But it's going to be a pretty tough game. I think I like Omega's draft here a bit more.
I think so as well. It's very easy for them to make plays, pick off plays like the Spirit Breaker plus the 2 supports, or the Spirit Breaker plus the Lina can always kill. And over on the side of inverse, it's really only the Bat Rider that can make plays early on. The Death Prophet is mostly just going to be shoving waves and running at towers, which is... There's a lot of wave clear with the Lina. I'm not sure if you have to be too scared of that if you're over on the side of Omega. So yeah, I agree with you here. I like their game plan quite a bit more. They have more options to make plays.
Yeah, and of course, late game will definitely favor Omega pretty much all the time, unless we see some weird Lina goes for magic damage build, and then I'm completely diverting my entire call to the other direction, because Lina, the classic, you know, bots, BKB, Silver Edge, and then you can pretty much solo everyone on the side of inverse.
Agreed. This Luna stands a chance if it was just a Medusa solo core, but with the Lina as well, this Luna has to get absolutely out of control. And in order for the Luna to get out of control, this Bat Rider has to get out of control first. There's a lot of conditions here that need to be met. I don't like it when there's a lot of ifs.
Just 30 seconds.
But ifs at least mean that there's a chance.
There is a chance, for sure. I guess the first sentry wrong.
That is always a very, very painful moment that you'll have to live with. 50 gold wasted. Oh. As a support, I know the feeling.
pretty brutal at the start of the laning phase.
The match of matches.
Oh, I do like the
starts
ward that's placed
now.
by Inverse. That way Monty can snipe the couriers. And we saw last game where Minga T pretty much ended the laning phase, mainly because his teammate Chan constantly kept sending out that regen. If you get rid of that entire influx of regen, it is a lot easier to win the lane. Even though, yeah, it's not the easiest lane to win. Death Prophet versus Dusa, but it's definitely a lot easier than a Axe who kind of does nothing against the Dusa.
The Death Prophet, as an offlaner, really loves abusing melee lanes. They have to get close to her. She's trading physically against them, and then once they are up in her face, she spirit siphons. It feels really good. And instead, she's dealing with the Medusa. Death Prophet offlane doesn't push the wave all that hard, and will be in range of a lot of Mystic Snakes. She already tanked one this game. It's not going to get better.
Monty and Arsent both dropping low. Monty gets himself back. Will stay alive. Arsent. Dangerous situation. Actually, Arsent is gonna survive because he has a Fairy Fire. And it's not even necessary. But yeah, they are getting crushed in the lane. Luckily enough. They do have lane control now, though.
If only briefly. These snakes, man.
Oh, the glimpse.
And a glimpse back.
DP. Another snake. And another kill secured. And that's a 1k net with advantage already. Chan wants the suicide. Does get the suicide. Gives Arsent a little bit of cash for it. But fully HP, fully mana'd up. And possibly even a moving courier for the Dusa. Be a big advantage here.
And I did think that this was going to be a hard lane for the Death Prophet, but not this hard.
Opening a D. Gonna get rolled upon. Actually, the roll does not connect. Monty needs to be a little bit careful.
Top
Sean
lane. Ilios.
got a lot.
Moon's blessing.
Aha! Stupid homing missile.
That Spirit Break has such a low attack time. It takes him forever.
And we're happy that that's the case, by the way. Having high
Yes.
attack speed on a Bara in the beginning of the game is not fun. So right now, speaking of not fun, that is Miggy's lane up against the Lina. Doubled the last hits. That is definitely not where you want to be as a Bat Rider.
He is not. And he has been dragging these creeps over into the river or into his side camp the entire time, trying to stay out of the wave where he's going to get nuked, and instead just praying that he gets the last hit them somewhere where at least he only has to tank the creeps and not also the Lina on top.
Oh, homing missile. Dark Demon gets stunned, but Slot charged up by Lissex. Get a bash. RNG. Yes, there we go.
Yes.
Slot. Nope. Denied. No kill being secured. While in the meantime, Arsent finds Chan in the bottom lane. Actually, oh, that snake does a lot of damage, but the healing for Arsent. Monty rolling in. Gets the kill. Very low. But they managed to get a double kill on the Death Prophet. That's a nice way to try and gain back control in the lane. He's also got the infused raindrops, and that is honestly a lifesaver in that bottom lane for the Death Prophet.
That's going to reduce a lot of the damage done here from those snakes flying out. That was a kill on the Medusa level 3. Actually very surprised. Normally that's where people really start falling over, but it was close.
Oh, Arsent. He has infused raindrops, otherwise would already be dead. Not that it matters because he's still gonna die, but he would have died like 2 seconds sooner, and that's just terrible.
Poor guy couldn't catch a break.
Same with the Bat Rider. He's on 14, while Lina's on 35. My God.
And Tano is doing this thing here as well. When the Bat Rider's not in the lane, he's not actually shoving hard. He's just controlling. He's denying so much right now. And the Bat Rider is like, the spam's gonna start when he comes back in.
I mean, Lina's level 6. Full
Yeah.
level ahead. We now also have to fear the Laguna with If she's full mana, with one combo you will easily kill off the bat. Unless, does he have? Nope, does not actually have himself those infused raindrops. Which I probably think might be a good idea to get.
This is a great game for raindrops.
Dire structures are fortified.
Oh, Tano going for the TP out. Look at the damage though! Ho ho ho!
Wait, what?
Bat Rider, he had 7 stacks on the Lina, and he, like, Lina died in half a second.
That's extremely careless.
There is little
I was not looking
for
at that. There was
radiance
no
in
way
the
she should be able to die there.
All of a sudden, the bat gets a
Wow,
huge
nice.
catch.
Radiant should look to their middle tower.
I mean,
I'd
that
say that saved his game, but that's definitely a nice bonus.
bottom lane, Monty trying to body block so Arzen can get the kill. No, Kipspul too far away. Monty is in trouble. Actually, the turnaround, but Monty wants to roll in, or does he? Yep, he does. Stuns up Chan. Monty dropping low, gets the kick. Mingati getting slowed down. Arzen did use his Spirit Siphon on probably the wrong target there. Because right now,
Gonna pay with his life?
yep, there is a Dark Demon coming in as well.
Should look to their middle tower.
The kill goes to the creeps, luckily enough.
Middle tower.
They did immediately ping the Spirit Breaker on top though, but I'm not actually sure if a Luna Gyrocopter can even kill this if Lissax doesn't come forward.
I'm not opposed to
He
seeing.
doesn't have
Now
bulldoze.
BG's bot.
Oop.
He's got a lasso.
Oh, the Dusa. That's a painful death, though still top net worth for the time being. Tano second. I mean, the 2 main cores are still doing pretty well. Actually, this Sax getting charge at in the top lane, but a great rotation from Tano. Laguna Blade gets an absolutely divine 2-man LSA.
Both on the edges. That makes my toes curl.
You and me both. Because right now, the Hoodwink, perfect to be in that position. Gets, of course, that free XP in mid. To catch up, though Miggy needs to be careful. There's a glimpse available as well, and he's going to get caught. Ooh, that's a pretty big mistake coming in. And a 2k net worth lead in 7 minutes is looking really stellar. However, Mingati is again in trouble.
With all the support showing on other lanes, they can definitely run straight after him.
Clara TP, but a little bit too late to the party. However, right now I just send the Deuce at top lane and yeah. At least swap it, maybe try and get that tier 1.
Yep, it is about time for that
Dire's
transfer
middle tower
over.
is under attack.
The only problem that Omega Gaming has really here is that they have no good, one of those teamfight offlaners that you can put on your safe lane tower, or, a Timbersaw, somebody that they need to spend resources to get through. And instead they're going to pretty much leave this lane to the Death Prophet now, which he's going to take very happily.
No real pressure being put in these lanes. I mean, Arsent, I assume, with this level 6, will go for that tier 1 tower bottom. I don't even necessarily think that it's necessary to pop your Exo.
No, they're ditching it. Just stand there.
Yeah, just right click it down, get the tower, then use it for mid. Once you open up mid and bottom, you pretty much have full reign of the enemy's jungle.
Radiant's bottom tower is in danger.
He's gonna pop it for bottom anyway, because, well, you gotta hurry up. Or he's just handling it the old
Radiant's
open
bottom
AI
tower
way.
is under attack.
True as well. I mean, there is something to be said for a little bit of tempo, because this Lina has her boots of travel already, so if you don't take this tower now, she is going to gank you on the next go.
Radiant's bottom tower is no more. Dire's top tower is
Well,
under
the tower trade is gonna come in. You know, of course, attack speed plenty to take down the tier 1 tower top.
Dire should look to their tower.
But you can see by the gold difference here that spending only the Death Prophet bottom and encountering 0 resistance while using 3 heroes top, 2 of which cores, has actually eked down the gold difference quite a bit. That was a lot of farming time, especially for the Bat Rider on mid, who can see pretty much everybody who's dangerous on the enemy team just sitting under the top tower. He's got BOTs as well.
Luna still needs a lot of time to really farm. Almost done with the Mask of Madness. Does she at least have some stacks? Well, they're trying to build them up right now.
And the worst case would be if the bat got kicked out of lane even harder, then he wouldn't have his BOTs up and the Luna would not be able to transition into the jungle right now, but they exactly managed to miss that. I think partially thanks to the solo kill on mid from Michi.
For enemies.
Okay, Death Prophet's... What is the Death Prophet building? Inkins?
A hood, usually?
I know, but Voidstone, like Perseverance into...
Eager to know Dire's whereabouts.
No, it's going for a hood. Random Voidstone. It's just, okay. Guess Yule's was the plan originally? Something?
Possibly. Could be... Voidstone is not a good value pickup, it's so expensive. And now, here is that Lina.
Yep. Easy pickings. Dark Demon picks it up because Urn is kill stealing.
Your gold and my pocket.
So every kill that delays Inverse is a win in Omega's book. Because their plan is, you know, extending this for quite some time. Jan's actually going for the solo kill onto the Luna, dropping him low. Luna almost taken down. Rolling Boulder in for the chase. Die, die, die! Ilios, there's the charge. Bara gets interrupted. Oh my lord. Another strike. Oh no, the lasso! The pain, the humility, the disaster on the Omega side.
That was such a great attempt. I can't believe he went for that.
Can't believe
But
it almost
yeah.
worked.
I presume he was just warding and he walked into her, so he can't place anything down and says like, fine, I dropped my stuff. He doesn't even have a ward, he just went there. Okay, bowler.
No fear whatsoever though. Right now Miggy needs to be careful. Glimpse sends him back. That's a kill. Mingati. Another one secured. Well, they lose the bounty rune in the process, but oh, and they might lose the Earthspit. It is a hasted Earthspit though. And there's a snipe from a Dark Demon on top, and again Lessex together with Dark Demon. Always looking pretty solid for that Omega lineup.
Well, that Earth Spirit, I don't want to say he gets the last laugh, but he stole 2 runes there, which means that this Lina actually had to go base instead of refilling, so... I think that death might have actually been worth it.
Yes, though.
That is fairly true. Gotta keep that Lina off of the BKB. Even though they do have one thing for the BKB, pretty much the lasso, unless you of course count exorcism, but eh.
I don't count it.
Oh, Dark Demon in trouble. However, that's a big LSA. Oh, again coming through. Get the kill. Arson gets glimpsed back. The snipe on top. And Arson's the second one to follow suit. That was beautiful. Tano again with a double LSA stunner.
Just sitting in the trees and Inverse really overestimating their damage output there, I think. There's always going to be reactions on that mid tower unless you immediately burst your target, but now Hoodwink just lives too long.
Monty, another one being caught out. And another one taken down. 2K net with lead. The Deuces just continuing the farming spree. Actually, one of the things that I saw in that previous fight, what I wanted to point out was the Bat Rider bought a Quelling Blade. And the reason why Bat Rider bought a Quelling Blade is specifically because Hoodwink's in the game. Every single time an Acorn Shot gets thrown out, immediately try to cut it.
It's a pretty worthwhile attempt, but yeah, if you don't make it, then unfortunately you've invested a bunch of gold into an item that's not doing anything for you.
Well, he did actually cut the tree against Dark Demon, which was pretty nice. The problem was, you know, they chased in behind the tier 1 tower, and this Lina is pretty good, I might say.
Yeah. He's doing alright.
This X is gonna die. It is a 4-man rotation. Is he gonna die though? God, he's taking so much time, has a charge, but he keeps 4 Dire heroes occupied for a solid 45
We're gonna
seconds.
get Arsent.
Putting a blade immediately onto the DP. Cooldown doesn't really do anything. Medusa ulti keeps him at bay. Oh, the snipe onto the Batrider slows him down. Lina is pretty fast. Are they going to re-aggress? Rolling Bolt in. The catch comes on top of Chan. Dark Demon needs to be careful, because that's another support that is going to get caught out. Tano is still here to pump out damage. In comes the Eclipse of Ilios. Though it's only a level 2 Lucent Beam, so it really doesn't do any damage. And Monty, no mana, no chance. The kills still favor Omega.
You could see Omega really fearing that Eclipse there, because there's absolutely no creeps near to tank any of it. Tano? Oh no.
18 Magic Wand charges. Let's say. Runs away. Has bots and a TP available. Oh.
I don't understand why Arsent doesn't follow him.
Why would you follow the enemy's mid lane when you can grab a position for Hoodwink?
This is true. I
Just the
take it
moral
back.
value. It's a Hoodwink. Have you heard that voice? He's mocking
It
you
is
just
true.
like Maresca.
I was about to say, not the most annoying laugh in the game. That one goes to Dark Willow.
Still one of my favorite voice lines is Enchantress. When she goes, I'm a predator.
I'm a predator!
Oh, that's so freaky. Oh.
Yay! She could be one of the happy tree friends.
Oh no, not those again.
I am so sorry, I did not mean to dig up your childhood traumas.
Well, I
But
did
I did
love
it
him,
anyway.
but definitely not something to show here.
I see, you're one of those. 3-man murder smoke into the Dire jungle.
Oh, the bat getting spotted again. Another strike back, sniped, taken down without being able to respond whatsoever. Spirit Breaker's almost up done with his Aghanim Scepter as well. Gonna get that nice cooldown reduction. Pierce the spell immunity, even though BKBs are not up yet. Oh, actually, Luna's BKB is up. Oh, Luna just used BKB. What for?
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
I mean, who needs a 9-second BKB when you can use an 8-second one?
Listen, it's just a second, right? It's not a long amount of time.
I mean, to be fair, people tend to not use BKBs as much if they still have long durations. So if you just quickly drop it to 6 seconds, you don't have that innate thought of let's not use it. You're just like, oh, it's, you know, who cares? It's already 6 seconds.
And just get it out of the way.
It's gonna end there anyway. Might as well do it sooner rather than later.
But yeah, the BKB piercing of this this charge is going to help out a ton versus the Dusa. As well as this is a great farming item actually. Really helps with the core Spirit Breaker to keep up your farming speed. You deal a lot of damage to both the creeps and the camps when you're charging through. And of course it helps keep up the pace of the game. Right now they spotted Monty.
Are scanning for enemies.
A little bit too spooked.
Blessings upon a
Ingati
loyal
going a
warrior.
slightly different build than his counterpart in the previous game. He went for the Dragonlance and is now going for the Ayaskadi. So added one item in between. Of course, Dragonlance is very flexible. If you eventually want to build a BKB, you can just break it open and get the Ogre Axe. Ogre Axe from that piece.
Works very well. Gets used on gyrocopters a lot these days. The disassemble trick.
Dire should look to their top.
And yeah, I think Medusa, she knows that versus a Luna, unless the Luna is really balling out of control, you have more time to get your items up. You don't need to be ready for an Ursa with a Diffusal Blade to start running at you. You don't need that Skadi right here, right now. So, Mingati taking his time, enjoying his space. Because his team has been doing a fantastic job creating that space for him.
I've had multiple games the last couple of days where there are random neutral items everywhere in the jungle, because when people try to send them back to base, there's an extra button that says drop on the ground when you right click on the item. So I just randomly see people dropping it accidentally on the on the ground next to them and walking away without realizing that they dropped a neutral item. I think that just happened in this game as well, because there was a random...
Oh, no.
I mean, they picked it up. The Luna picked it up immediately afterwards, but he just found a random keen optic lying on the floor.
That's been there a while.
Love it when Valve changed things without specifically saying what they changed.
Oh, and they've got the BKB on the Batrider. He can come into this immediately with his boots of travel. So just
Luna as well.
Up.
8 seconds
Yep.
though, but...
Shh.
Get there soon enough. Is that a Glimmer Cape? No, that's not a Glimmer Cape. That is going to be a Dark Demon Hoodwink getting spotted out. Chan pops his Sexum Connect field. Doesn't matter because BKB still does the work. Charge coming in though. Controlling up the Luna, who is being absolutely stun locked. Oh my lord. The damage coming through. Another charge available for the Spirit Breaker. A 1-for-1 trade, but definitely worthwhile. Maybe gets charged up. Has a BKB. As you mentioned, but can't respond because Lissex with that Aghanim Scepter, very deadly on the Barra, looking for a fourth for the side of Omega, and yeah, they've got a high ground ward. Oh no, whatever shall we? You're dead.
Yeah, maybe your Death Prophet can go deward that while they take Roshan. I mean, I doubt they'll actually let you because they have a Spirit Breaker.
Is under attack.
That was painful. That was the BKB reveal for, I guess, for the Luna as well, because she hadn't actually shown up to a fight with it yet, but especially for the Batrider. She dies because of the charge. The Aghanim Scepter literally just finished, and the Batrider doesn't even get his off. What a tragedy this is turning into.
Omega, complete control of the game. 7k net worth lead with the lineup that is meant to go to the late game.
Never go out.
Leading the ages in a bit. Why not? And they have also the Aghanim Shard over on the Disruptor, so there is one of those sweet attack speed buffs. Works especially well on the Dusa. He's a little bit of a slow snake, really likes the 50% movement speed buff as well.
Yeah, but you know, all in all, it's just a farming item for the Disruptor. So that you can throw it on your Medusa and be like, yeah, I'ma help you hit the creeps.
Continues.
You're giving away all the supporting secrets here, dude. Shush.
Actually, the greatest one is you pop it on the Spirit Breaker and he gets that slight little movement speed charge and he hits onto someone. That could be pretty nasty.
That's true, actually. It works on literally everybody in this game. That is really cool.
Oh, right now we have a DC. Arzent did go for that Hood of Defiance and the Yule Scepter, building up the BKB next. But, well, I mean, the Barra alone is pretty much already the counter for BKB this game.
I guess you can confuse him by being like, alright, we have 3 BKBs right now. You gotta pick one of them.
Luna.
Maybe
Every
2.
time.
It's, of course, it's the Luna.
Like she's going for the Daedalus. She has no HP. If you get on top of the Luna, she got like Lena at one point just 3 hits her.
Yeah, I wonder if she isn't better served by getting a Satanic.
It's all coming together.
I can break open the Mask of Madness, get it slightly faster. Because right now Luna, I mean, in general, Luna can't like man fight the Dusa or Alina at all anyway. But right now you just gonna lose to the Spirit Breaker combined with the Hoodwink if they randomly encounter you.
Yep. She needs to do too many things this game. She needs to tank the Spirit Breaker, but she also needs to deal the damage in those team fights, especially because Arzent just hasn't really been able to do anything this game. Like, sometimes he hasn't been there, but other times I think he was right not to get too involved because he just dies. He has no impact whatsoever. And I guess the same can be said for Miji. This poor guy, we saw him farm his entire BKB and try once and just immediately get shut out of the game again.
Well, hasn't really popped it yet. He died before he could even use it. So that's
True.
also... Not that it would have mattered, because he'd still get charged and completely stun locked and whatnot. Right now, it's going to be very hard for Inverse to come back. Okay, give me your ideal scenario how they can turn this around.
I think the Lina needs to die first. You lasso the Lina, that's a lot of their damage output gone. And then afterwards, maybe your Luna actually survives to go by the Spirit Breaker and you can turn. Something like that. But that Aegis needs to be on first. You don't get that scenario without the Lina only having 1 life.
So you're not very optimistic. As I can
I'm not. We weren't even optimistic in the draft, dude.
That is very true. Oh yeah, I heard about this. Quickly just read something from a part of the production crew that they added controller support to Dota. So you can now play Dota with a controller. Just think of the fact that people are trying to play Invoker on a controller.
If it can be done, it will be done. I've seen some great memes of people having a steering wheel to control Dota with. Did they just call it?
Oh. Seems there were some issues, I guess. Okay. This was a very, very sad anticlimactic ending to the game.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of thought that at least Arzent would play, but I guess he was just done. I can see why, as a team, you can call this game done. As you could hear from my try at giving a winning scenario, the chances were very slim already. I mean, it didn't look that great from the draft onwards. But you should decide that as a team, and not when your offlaner just steps out. That's a bad sign.
I don't know if it's necessarily like he stepped out, or maybe there was some internet issues or whatnot. But it's a weird way to end the game. That's all yeah. I mean, I'm just going under the assumption that, you know, his internet died or something along those lines and he couldn't come back. Otherwise, it would be twice as sad if this really was the way that they ended the game, with a rage scenario, if you will. But that concludes this series in a very sad and anticlimactic ending. The first game, definitely miles ahead in terms of fun compared to the second, but we do have more to be played, Kips. And one of them, of the two teams that are going to be competing against each other, was actually one of the favorites to win the entire group stage.
They were, yeah. I mean, the tragedy of Wolf Team, like the fact that they're not going to be promoted has already been written, but really, I'm just here to see how much further their free fall is going to take them. First, they don't qualify. Second, they lose Yodomi, who still has to play 1 game for them, by the way, in order for the entire squad to not get disqualified because of roster instability. They need 1 more game with our main player. I'm hoping he turns up tonight, and at least they get that sorted, and maybe we'll get to see some sort of regrouping from them. But otherwise, they're up versus Unknown, who are going to be very eager to take down these fallen champions. Who they were at TI, DK.
Yep, they were actually at TI, and now they are, well, close to like getting eliminated from the DPC Division 2 in South America, which is, I mean, that would be a gut blow, considering the fact that there's one other Brazilian team in here, which is not too much, but there aren't that many top tier Brazilian teams now that they've dropped down to the Division 2. However, that is a game that we'll be discussing in give or take an hour. Yes, indeed, an hour. That's how long the break is going to last. So we'll be back for that match, ladies and gentlemen. And we'll see you guys then. Ta-ta.